What it is, Montano Patient Grease here, and we finally got the Profit Taker update on console, Fortuna Part 2. So let's talk about it and some of the new additions to some of the vendors, as well as the new missions. So first things first, we'll talk about Tika. Now Ticker, he hasn't really changed his inventory much. His second hand really doesn't seem to have changed. I've been watching it, and it seems like the same items, which that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. If you're wondering, like myself, did the debt bond cost go down on Ticker? Nope, still extremely way overpriced and insulting. Resource sink, but yeah, I'm not going to comment on that anymore. So with that said, let's talk about Rude Zood. Now Zood's inventory has not really changed. It's pretty much the same, which I don't have a problem with that really, because I'm still in acquisition mode for all of the arcanes, so not a biggie for me. The fact that Zood doesn't really have anything new, yeah, no biggie, no problem. That brings us to biz, or the business. Now actually it has quite a few. So the first thing is we have 3 new critters that you can lure, trank, and trap. The Saga, which is a bird-like creature, the Harask, and the Stover. On top of this, we also have a new boot decoration. Just like on the Plains of Eidolon, you could use your Grineer boot as a trophy on in your orbiter, and you can do so here as well with the Corpus boot, just as I predicted. No different. And we also have these new items called pheromone synthesizers. Now, I'm fearful of these, but I'm hopeful as well. I'm hopeful that these animal, the rarer subspecies, will still spawn on their own like they did before Profit Taker, and that these pheromone synthesizers are not required. As I begin to test this more and more, I'll update this video in the comment section and let you guys know what I found out. But I'm hopeful that these aren't being jammed down our throat and they're not forced like the Synethid bait was, having to be forced to use it to get Synethid fish to spawn. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm hopeful this isn't the case, but I'm fearful it is. Once I know more, I'll update. But you can now acquire new floops. You can acquire the new Saga floops, as well as the Harask floops and the Stover floops, and there is a new emblem once you have acquired tags for each of the subspecies of the new critters. And I get it. I know a ton of people love these floops and are trying to absolutely stuff their orbiter to the brim with as many floops as they possibly can. I have a friend who, she goes absolutely nuts for these damn things and is bummed that she doesn't have enough space to decorate her orbiter with just an absolute metric crap ton of floops. She loves these things. So if you're one of those, I get it. Trust me, I have a friend that does that. So you can do you with those floops. That brings us to Smokefinger, still a cool name. Smokefinger doesn't really have anything new with Profit Taker. Has one new captura scene. Prior to Profit Taker, we already had the Orc Palace captura scene. It was already present, so that's not new. But we do have the new Fortuna captura scene. I know a ton of people love the captura scene. If you love captura, here's a new scene for you. And that's about it. That brings us to Thursby, aka Legs. So Thursby has 3 new brackets. Alright, now you may be wondering, okay, Peace, what do these 3 new brackets do that my Drimper bracket didn't? Okay, well, these 3 new brackets look different, but more importantly, they give you polarized mod slots. In the case of the TN, you get a Vazarin mod slot, and the Johnson, you get a Matarai polarity. Moving on. The Goth bracket, you get a Narrowmon mod slot. And that's about it for Thursby. So let's talk about the new weapons and frame. Now I'm rocking the new frame here. With this update, the Profit Taker update, I should say, we got Baruch, the Warframe, the peaceful, reluctant warrior. For a primary, we got a shotgun, the Exorgist. For a secondary, we got the Plinks. For the melee, we got the Cobra and Crane, as well as the Galvacord. Now, for the Exorgist, Plink, and Galvacord, you're going to need 3 new resources. And if you're wondering where to acquire those, as well as Baruch, we're going to get into that here in a second. So let's talk about Propitaker, because these are all connected. Directly behind Utico, if you go past these giant trucks here on my right, interact with this door, it's going to bring you into this back room. In this back room, you're going to see the Biz, you're going to see Utico, and you're going to see this NPC Little Duck. Now, Little Duck is, I guess, the head of Vox Solaris, is another hidden faction in Fortuna. But what you're looking for in regards to Propitaker is this right here. So once you interact with this, you're going to have 4 phases total. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. You have to do these in sequential order, meaning you can't jump to Phase 2 or Phase 3 without doing Phase 1 or Phase 2. So these have to be done in order. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4 finally. Now, once you have completed them, you can do them any way you want to, as much as you want to. No expiration date. And that is fan-frickin-tastic. Thank you, DE. This is exactly what I was talking about, and exactly what is needed. Because this is one of my biggest complaints about the Plains of Eidolon. With the Tridolon hunts. You jumped onto the Plains of Eidolon, you had 15 minutes left, and you didn't quite get that last Eidolon taken down because you ran out of time. And I said it before, I'll say it again, I don't think that the Tridolon should be capped by, the time of day. Once you start a Tridolon fight, you should be able to finish it. Alright? Period, the end. Thankfully, in regards to the Orb Mother, you are not limited by time. There's no expiration date. You can jump into Phase 4 if you've done the other 3 phases, and you can run them as much as you want. So, yeah, that's the way that it should be. And I'm kind of hopeful that DE will actually change the Eidolon so that the Tridolon fights will as you continue them regardless of time of day, is my hope, but we'll see. Now, another thing that I have to commend DE on is once you finish Phase 1, alright, while you're out on the plains, Little Duck will alert you that she's coming up topside. She'll actually be standing by the elevator door, and you can just take Phase 2 quest from her, alright, or another Phase 1 quest, and so on and so forth, without ever having to go back down into Fortuna again. Again, gotta commend DE, this is the way to do it. Good job. Good idea. Alright, so let's talk about the rewards. In regards to Phase 1, we also have these 3 new systems. And you have the Gyromag systems, you have the Atmos systems, and you have the Repeller systems. You are going to need these to build the 3 new weapons. Alright, the Galvacord, the Plinks, and the Exorgist are going to require these new resources. So you're going to want to run those. But as well as that, you also have new Arcwing weapons and Helmet Charger mods. You guys out there that love the Helmet Charger, and you felt like you weren't getting any love, you're now getting your own mods. Now, personal note, I always felt that if you ran Nidus, you should get a buff for running a Helmet Charger. But I digress. In regards to these phases for the Propitaker, you can actually earn toroids, which is great. In case you're wondering about toroids, you need to actually increase your standing with Vox Solaris. Little Duck does the standing for Vox Solaris. So, as you increase your standing, how you increase your standing, as I said, you donate toroids, and that's how you increase your standing. As you do so, you begin to unlock more and more items. So you get all the operator cosmetics. But with the Propitaker update, we got Baruch. This is where you earn the Baruch Warframe. Once you get up to this level, this standing. There are also amps, arcanes, and once you get up to appropriate enough standing for hand, you can actually just buy the Repeller systems, the Atmos systems, and the Gyromag systems, which, yeah, that's definitely needed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I personally, but the Repeller systems, I get they're supposed to be rarer than the Gyromag systems, but the fact you only get one for 5,000 standing, yeah, that's a hard sell. That's a little bit much. That's a little bit much. But there it is. If you want to spend the standing, there you go. But this is where you're going to have to acquire some of these items. But let's talk a little bit more about Propitaker, because there's something to keep in mind here. So let's talk about the arc weapon, the Gravamag, and the Arcwing weapon deployer, because this is going to be important. So, Once you are ready to run phase 4 of the Profit Taker, you're going to be required to have a Arcwing heavy weapon. And in order to equip that, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a Grab-A-Mag, and you're going to need the Arcwing Arc Weapon Deployer. Okay, so where do you get the Grab-A-Mags, and where do you get the Arc Weapon Deployer? Alright, this is important. So the first thing, in Phase 3, you will earn a Grab-A-Mag. Alright. Now, once you either buy a Grab-A-Mag in the market, or acquire a Grab-A-Mag from just the Phase 3 mission, you will then equip it on an Arcwing weapon. Alright. Now, your Arcwing weapon of choice must have an Orkin Catalyst already installed. Once you have installed an Arcwing Catalyst already onto your Arcwing weapon, you can then install a Grab-A-Mag onto that same Arc weapon. Alright. Now, once you have completed Phase 3, you will automatically get a message in your inbox, and it will be the Arcwing weapon deployer. Now, I was already in Fortuna when I finished Phase 3, and so Ordis did not alert me to the fact that I actually had messages. Okay? Didn't tell me. And it wasn't, and I actually went back to my orbiter, actually went to my dojo, and came back to Fortuna, never knowing that I had this message in my inbox, and it wasn't until I manually opened my communication in my inbox before I finally saw that I actually had the Arcwing deployer. Once you have the Arcwing deployer, you just simply equip it in your gear wheel like you do anything else. Just that straightforward, just that simple. Once you have equipped an Arc heavy weapon, by applying that Grab-A-Mag and making sure you put that Arc gun deployer in your gear wheel, you can then run Phase 4 of the Profit Taker. And that's basically what is entailed. So hopefully this helps you guys out, gives you guys a little guidance, things to watch for, things to notice. And until next time, peace and grace.